Hello, good morning everyone. Good morning. This room is so big, I have to literally scan from left to right to look over all of you guys. This like, wow. Usually Toastmasters has this vision, like it's having this angle, but right now I have to like literally take a step back and scan through the entire room. But I'm so excited. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And you know what is the reason for this excitement for me? Personally, I look forward to Toastmaster meeting because of the Toastmaster of the day session that we have. The guy who carried forward entire session. And today we have Havish, who will be carrying out through entire session, and it's gonna be amazing. More than amazing, I think it's gonna be learning curve for all of us, because I'm not sure how many guys have you seen the poster for the day. Did you guys see what is the title for the theme of the day?
How to tell a better story.
How to
Tell a better story.
craft better stories. We were having actual discussion the last weekend, and it came up. The storytelling is one of the best skills that you can learn. That's how you connect with your audience. That's how you connect with anyone. I mean, just remember back in time when you were a kid and you were literally sitting just by your grandma, and she would be telling stories, and you couldn't look anywhere else. You would be like, what's coming next? What's coming next? What's coming next? And she got you hooked. But back then we didn't know what is storytelling for us. We didn't know what corporate for us. But you know, like, do we even need to have a storytelling, all those skills? We're so naive back then, but today, it's the need of the hour to learn how to speak, to learn how to engage your audience in a form story. And that's what we're gonna learn today. Learn, unlearn, anything. We'll all have our experiences, and I'm sure Bhavesh is gonna do his part of the great. Of course, he's good at his job. So, but other than that, what are we here for? I mean, guests. I often say that you could have done anything under the hood. You could have gone anywhere, or you could not even have stepped out of your room, let alone taking shower and getting ready and traveling for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 kilometers, taking a cab and coming here. We are looking for a community. We are looking to improve ourselves through a community, and that's why we are sitting here on the roof, because we want to learn something. And what are those? For me personally, it's how to talk confidently without getting nervous. Just a person like Nithin. If I am in my corporate job, if I am in a meeting, it's so common that my CEO would be sitting over there, and I might get intimidated. Please come. I might feel or heckle at that time. But if I don't want that to happen, I need to practice that. Where would you practice, guys? In your room? I don't think so. You get so many people in your room. I mean, that would be weird if there are so many people in your room, right? So I feel this freaking stage is my home. I am here to practice. And if I would be given an opportunity that, like Bhavesh, that hey, you have to address 100 audience, 200, 300, 400, and I would not heckle over there, and be confident enough to talk, to engage, to ask questions, just looking in the eyes of you, and to engage you all in my session. For that, Toastmaster International has set a mission that we are looking for, that we are reaching to. That's our North Star, and that is Toastmaster International provides you a positive and supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to I forgot the mission statement, Harish. What's like you are going to the next song?
I don't put me on the spot. I have it printed, I'll read it out.
No, in which members are empowered to. I think it's.
ये तुम्हें तो अभी तक याद नहीं हुआ
Can I look at the phone, guys, or do you wanna help me out with that?
About to take up leadership and communication. Take leadership roles and
I
improve their
know something
communication.
in the mission system that's very important, actually. I'm so sorry, but this is what I was talking about. How about this happened before 500 people? What would I do? I would do exactly the same thing. I would crack a joke and I would look at my phone without any blink of a moment. I would just read out the mission statement. But just imagine that I would be so nervous. And right now I'm not, because I feel this is normal. This is pretty normal. I can forget a mission statement of 10 lines or 7 lines. Quite normal. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read out the mission statement that I have saved in my phone. And that is, wow, right here. The mission of our Toastmaster International is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience. Until now, I was right. I did remember. And the next part is in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And it goes by 4 values, core values, and they are integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Before starting the meeting, since we are here, since we want to learn something, since we want to focus like 1.5 or 2 hours in the room, there are some of the rules that we follow here in Gurgaon Toastmasters. That please do not crosstalk while the speaker is speaking on the stage. Please do not exit the room while the speaker is speaking. Take the applause time to do so. And you can check your phone for 5 seconds, whether it's on silent mode or not. If not, please do so. And by default, we are recording the entire session. If you don't want to be a part of this, you can always let us know. We'll edit out of the video. Great. And by the way, this is 909th meeting. Great. Like it's been running for 17 years. So I'm really looking forward to the great. Like really looking forward to hear all of these speakers and of course TMOD of the day. Over to Presiding Officer TM Vishwajit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin. Welcome everyone to meeting number 909. It has a very symmetric feeling to it. It's a palindromic number, 909. Prince?
Just like the team's name.
Yeah, this is also a palindrome. So, so kudos to Dr. Sachin for such an amazing start. I am Vishwajit and I will be the presiding officer for today. So first of all, I would like to introduce the Toastmasters for the benefit of guests who are here for the first time. So Toastmasters was started about 100 years back by Ralph Smedley, and the purpose was to provide a communication platform for people, to develop their communication skills. So this has survived and thrived in the past 100 years, and now it has evolved into a network of thousands of Toastmasters like the GTMC we have across the globe. And the structure of the meeting goes like this, that there are 3 sections. In first section, the 4 or 3 speakers, we have 4 speakers today, they come and present a speech. The speech is a part of a pathway that they use. There are different pathways there's a curriculum that Toastmaster follows, and the speech is aligned to that curriculum which the Toastmaster is following. Then that is followed by a table topic section. In table topic section, each person gets a impromptu topic and they have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes on that. It is similar to the impromptu speaking the extempore speaking that you might have experienced in your school time. Then third section is the evaluation section. The 4 speakers and everyone gets evaluated on the speech and on various aspects such as grammar, timing, use of hours and active listening. So this is Toastmasters for you. Before starting the session, I would like to take few guest introductions. Maybe 3 or 4 in the interest of time. We can start with Sudhir maybe. You can just tell us what you do and what are your expectations from today's session.
My name is Sudhir and I'm working as a GTMC and a retail specialist. And my expectation today is to improve my communication skills and literacy.
Welcome Sudhir.
I am Lavanya. I work as a corporate strategy manager in Schneider Electric. So this is my second time as a guest. So I'm just looking forward for the session.
Good to have you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Aparna. I'm not a guest. Basically, I'm a part of NCDC club. So I'm here as a part to join this club and have a good Sunday morning.
Welcome. Good to have you. Huh? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Jun'26 and I am a software developer. This is my second time here in the class. So I would look forward to that.
Welcome to Anand. In the interest of time, we'll have the rest of the guest evaluation at the end of the meeting. So we'll start. I'll hand over to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster.
I think he can be.
I can be actually value.
Okay. Crafting better stories, Toastmaster Bhavish. Toastmaster Bhavish, crafting better stories. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Like Sachin does. Good morning, everyone.
Good
morning, Bhavish.
Okay. Let me begin by asking you, how many amongst you, should I count this thing?
Harish. Can you move? Harish. Hermione. Akash. And right line against me. Krishna.
It I'm not counting. Let me begin by asking you, how many amongst you do think that you can tell good stories? 3, 4, 5. Out of, okay, brilliant.
But not like on the stage like that.
Okay. Either ways, I mean, it's just like how can we tell stories? Stories are such an integral part of our lives. How about I change the definition of storytelling? Stories are not something that you tell. Stories are something that you uncover from your life. So many more. So before we begin, before we learn how to tell stories, first we need to understand why stories are part of our life. Why do we tell stories? Anyone?
It defines your personality.
I think one way to connect with the other.
Just to share your energies.
You get to relive that emotion again.
Okay. You share an experience.
Yeah, experience.
Cool.
It's a channel of communication.
It is a channel of communication, yes.
It is channel of knowledge sharing as well.
Absolutely. If you need to impart wisdom, if you need to preserve the culture or your heritage, and even if you want to heal, stories are so important. It is often said that if you can easily speak about something out loud, the intensity, the form, the shape of that misery goes away. And healing is a great part. You know, whatever feels scary to you, if you can talk about it, the fear reduces. If it feels too silly that you made a mistake, when you speak about it, it reduces its intensity. Every part, every major moment, every major event in your life is stored in your mind as a story. Before you begin writing any story, there are 3 questions I want you to consider and write it down for yourself. Anytime you begin writing a story, there are 3 questions you should be asking yourself. What is this story all about? This is quite a given. Second is, why do I need to tell it? Now this is important. Why am I telling you this story? Most people do not answer this question. And the third and the most important, who I was before this story began, and what did I become after the story ended. There has to be a transition. There has to be a transformation. After you have done that, the challenge is not writing. The bigger challenge is remembering that story. We will continue with this, but before that, I would like to hand over the stage to GE Sachin.
Thank you, Team Bhavish. I'm having the hat of general evaluator. Apart from the specialist evaluator for particular speakers that we have here, along with to focus on a specialized area, we have also evaluator. I am a general evaluator. I will go through whatever is happening in this world. Right from the start, how is the meeting going, how much disturbance is, Toastmaster protocol is being followed or not. Everything under the hood, I'm gonna take care of it. And I'll share my report at the end. But guess what? This is so much work, right? I'm not gonna do it alone. So I have a tag team with me who is gonna help me out. And let's call upon those specialist evaluators. First, I'd like to call upon Saurabh for the timer role.
So I'm going to be a cheerleader. You can see all the pom-pom in my hand. Just kidding. This is going to be the flags that you're going to witness during the speech. So I'm here to time so that you don't speak too much or unnecessary and bore people. Anyway. Anyway, so let me just give you a brief on what the timing structure looks like for the meeting. First and foremost, there are going to be prepared speeches. You can see over here, and they are timed between 5 to 7 minutes. So at the 5-minute mark, I'll raise this green flag. At the 6-minute mark, I'm going to raise this yellow, and at the last 7-minute mark, the red is going to be raised. And just be mindful of the fact that you have a grace period on both sides. That is, you can go beyond 7, you can hit till 7:30, and on the lower end, you can stop it at 4:30. And for the other part, which is the table topic speeches, we have 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll show you this green, then at 1.5, yellow, and at 2, this red card. Also be mindful that you have a grace period on the higher side. You can go till 2:30, but not you cannot end at 30 seconds. So that's a foul. And finally, for the evaluators, we have 3 to 4 minutes. Sorry, 2 to 3 minutes. My bad. So at 2-minute mark, again, as you know the script, it's green. At 2 minutes 30, it's yellow, and at the 3-minute mark, it's red. Again, you have grace period on the higher and lower side. With that being, they can some specialist speeches, but we don't have that. And let's continue the timing journey. So I'll try to be a cheerleader, but once you see this red flag, it's time to step out on the stage.
Perfect. Thank you, Kim Saurabh. I'm not sure, are we having ice-breaking speech today?
Yes.
So for ice-breaking speech, we are having 4 to 6
And
minutes.
it will be throwing a standing ovation.
Yes. And as a part of this Toastmasters culture, if you are delivering your first speech, that is ice-breaking speech, here, we would give him a standing ovation. That will not go for another speech as well, so it's okay. Moving ahead, we have our counter. So can you please come, Nitin, and share your role?
Hi, so I'll be playing the role of an R counter today. So as per the core responsibility of this role, I am supposed to count the use of the filler words like like, and, which are being used in place of the silence or the pauses, right? And at the end of the session, I'll be preparing and presenting my report out to you all. Best wishes to all the speakers today.
Thank you, Nitin. Next we have grammarian, so can we have him on stage, please?
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you. So, greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So, this is my first role that I'm taking, and as a grammarian, obviously, I will be pointing out I will be looking firstly for all the positives. That's the best usage of words, phrases, all the thoughts, and all the commendable things. And also I will also be looking for some improper usage, such as malapropisms, which is that you use a different word instead of a different one. So things like that, and mispronunciations and other grammatical stuff. With that, I'm going to introduce the vocabulary of the day. So I've got 2 words because it's a proven fact that when you learn words in pairs, you better remember them. So I've got 2 vocabulary, that's assiduous and negligent. Assiduous means you take great care and perseverance. Negligent is just the opposite to it, which is careless and lack of concern. And the next part is the idiom of the day, which is fun. That's between the devil and the deep blue sea. I think as a corporate people, we get to use this a lot of time. It's more of a moral dilemma, forced to choose between 2 different options, difficult options. So with that being said, I also have a small task for you all. The speaker who uses all the 3 words in their speech gets a small gift at the end. I'll be presenting my report at the end of the session. Thank you.
Perfect. That shows that how much you are concerned about your role doing this. It's a lot. Yeah. But yes, all the guys, if you are using these words, let's show thumbs up to encourage the person. Next we have Prince for the active listener.
Hi everyone, today I am playing the role of the active listener. As the active listener, my role is that I will listen all the conversations that are going to take place, speakers, simulators, and the opposite role players. And at the end of the meeting, I will ask them, divide a team into 2 parts, A and B, and ask the questions from each team. And whosoever winner then decide that the team will get to the winner. Thank you.
So these will be your specialist evaluator. What are you speaking? How are you speaking? What you should not speak, like the filler words, which would be would be counting. And let's take this feedback and improve ourselves. That's how the Toastmaster is. You get the feedback and you work on that and you try. There is an important thing, Saurabh, I would need your help in this. For the speaker and evaluators, those who are exceeding the time limit, they would not be getting the certificate. Sure shot. They would be out of the the competition. Other than that, we are all good. So let's hand over to TMO. No, but that's for evaluator and speaker for the time being. No, actually, you have to be mindful because because we have no. It's not standard. The reason is we have not standardized the TMO time.
Very careful. So what we discussed was our life is full of stories, right? Usually when we visualize our life, how do we visualize this as? Our story. We consider this as a diary or a book, right? How about we change the paradigm and make it like an archaeological site? And within that, we have a number of things. Many things. For each individual, this site, our life, has millions and millions of stories, right? Correct? Now, what happens normally when we start writing a story, we want to condense our whole life because that's what we have seen in our 70s and 80s movies, where the hero starts here and then ends his life here. Within that, we had a story, correct? Would it not be injustice if you were to squeeze 30 years or 40 years or 70 years of life in just a few minutes, 7 minutes? It would lack depth, it would lack emotions, it would lack anything, right? it would lack meaning. How about if we were to pick up just one small time frame and write stories on that? Now, these could be very simple things. When you tried something new in your life, okay? It could be one of those difficult choices you made, something that you discovered about yourself, some loss that you've incurred which changed your relationship with people or yourself. It could be a time when you made a tough choice, some unexpected moments. Days were ordinary, but one particular day was not so ordinary. You can write a story on that. Somewhere you stood to gain or lose something. So basically what you're doing is you're taking the metal detector, and in this junkyard, you're looking for treasure. Now what happens is, usually, I have seen that when somebody comes to me asking for how should I write a story, there are two categories of people who would start crafting based on these two criteria. This is called an all-out no ye. It will be barrage of all the bad experiences that they have seen, one after another. Now, the thing is, audience is not your therapist. Correct? It should not be about all the bad experiences, and it should not be a catalog of grievances. Audiences are not looking for what happened to you. They are looking for the decisions you made. Because what happens is, the moment you say, I had a choice and this is the decision I made, audiences are with you. And they're starting to visualize this, starting to imagine, if I would be in that situation, what would I do? In that very moment, you're connecting with the audience. Audiences are one with you. And that's the great part of a good storytelling. The other category is, they will only talk about achievements. What did I achieve? I went through this, I went through this college, I went to this course, I did this, that. But when you do that, it's braggy and it's self-indulgent. Audiences are disconnected because audiences are not looking for your achievement, they're looking for the mistakes you made, the vulnerabilities you showed. They want to feel like human and connect with you. In that way, you're giving them the permission to relax, that if they made a mistake, it is okay. They also get a chance to feel good about themselves, that if this guy is making a mistake, I made a mistake, it is alright. It also builds trust with your audience. So basically, when you talk about all accomplishments, you are talking at them. But once you start sharing your vulnerabilities, you're inviting them in. So now that we have this, we have found this one particular moment or a time frame, the next question comes is, why should audience care for it? And that we will discuss after we have the first speaker, once the first speaker does their speech. Who's the first speaker?
It's written.
Oh, okay. Speaker Anandita, but before Anandita comes on stage, I would like to call her evaluator, Toastmaster Jun'.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jyotish. So I will be evaluating Anandita. This is her first speech. So I would request, apart from her, to support all. To all of you to support her. Okay. Timer, please note that since it's a icebreaker, it will be 4 to 6 minutes, and I will be requesting all of you, after when she finishes her speech, please give a standing ovation. It will be not an in-depth evaluation. Simple. Let's see how she is delivering her first speech. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joseph. A little bit about Toastmaster Anandita. She is a second-year BCom honors student at the University of Delhi. She's always been eager to explore new opportunities, taking on challenges, and continue growing through every experience. The title for her speech is, What Happened to That Person? What happened to that person? Toastmaster Anandita.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Have you ever looked at an old photograph and wondered what happened to that person? Not because they've changed physically, but because somewhere along the way, they became a little different. Today, I'd like to introduce you to someone, a little girl. She loved being on stage. If there was something happening in school, chances are she had already signed up for it. Debates, elocutions, dance performances, drawing competitions. She wanted to do it all. She never seemed to think twice about it. She would simply go onto the stage, smile, enjoy the moment, and deliver what she had prepared. But if I wasn't drawing, I wasn't on the stage, I was probably drawing. You could find sketches in my notebooks, on rough sheets, and sometimes even between my notes. It's not something I learned, it's just something I have always done. Art is a big part of who I am. And even today, Indian classical dance speaks to me like nothing else does. And that love for art led to one of my most memorable moments in class 10 when I was awarded Artist of the Year. Looking back, life felt much simpler then. Or maybe I was just too young to realize that some of the biggest changes in my life were right around the corner. Then came class 11th and a new school. I was leaving behind a place I had spent years in, friends I had grown up with, and a school that had become home. Everything felt unfamiliar. For the first time, I was walking into a place where nobody knew me. But eventually, I found a way to find my place there. I made some friends, adapted to the different environment, and even became house captain. After school came another big transition: college. Like most students, I had a very specific picture in my mind of where I wanted to end up. Things didn't go according to plan, and I joined Mata Sundari College, a college I had never once considered. At first, all I could see was the difference between what I had imagined and where I was. But as the semester passed, I stopped comparing my reality to the plan I had made in my head. I realized that happiness isn't about ending up where you wanted to. It's about actually allowing yourself to be present where you are. Around the time when I was waiting for college to begin, I joined Social House Learning as an intern. Social House Learning is a by the youth, for the youth organization that focuses on leadership and youth empowerment. I joined simply hoping to learn something new and gain some hands-on experience. But I didn't imagine that internship would become a big part of my life. And today, a year later, I find myself serving as a PR associate head at Social House Learning. I've had the opportunity to speak with educators, work with schools, and take on responsibilities that would have felt intimidating when I first started. Still do. Yet somewhere along the way, I realized that I had become someone who thinks twice before raising her hand. So here I am. I'm here to keep growing, to challenge myself and become the speaker I know I can. At the starting of my speech, I asked, have you ever looked at an old photograph and wondered what happened to that person? I don't think I have the answer yet, but maybe that's what this journey is all about. Thank you.
Beautiful. So the question that came up while writing your story is, why should audience care? Does anyone have any answer? Why should audience care for your story or that moment?
I think people are social animals. They like to hear stories from people.
Okay.
Relatable and
Relatable. Okay. Anything else?
Sometimes they want inspiration from somebody's story.
Correct. Correct.
Always I have something to say, like we love to hear stories because we made mistakes. Like we want to know whether the other person also committed the same mistake.
You want to be entertained.
That is correct. We want to be entertained. Correct.
Yes.
But no, what makes the story compelling then?
Relatability.
Relatable. What else?
Authentic. Authenticity.
Okay. Anything else?
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs. Who said that? Beautiful. So every story needs stakes. You started off from here, you ended up here. That's not a story. I woke up, I was going to Lajpat Nagar, I went. That's not a story. How might I remove this? Is that a story? It is a story. How did I cross this? Imagine if this was there. There's this monster out here. Now this is a story. Now people want to know. They care because they want to know what happened with you, what was the outcome of it. Right? So every story would have stakes involved. That is what hooks your audience. You need to have tension. So a straight line, linear story, nobody is interested. But when there are forces that are pulling in every angle, that's movement. Correct? Now, what could be these forces? Anybody has any idea? Any movement is possible when you have two opposing forces. Normal physics. In a story, when you have two opposing forces, that is when it is a story. Something that you desire, something that you were so desperate about, something that you wanted to avoid or get rid of so bad. That's one type of force. Other end, obstacles, resistance, friction. Now you can amplify that, you can magnify it by internal resistance or external circumstances. You're giving force to this. So what happens to this straight line if there are forces pulling it or pushing it in one direction? You have given your story an arc. Isn't that what storytelling books are talking about? Every story, in some form or the other, is a form of this format called snafu. Situation normal, all fudged up. Right? How many amongst us are parents? I think most of you would know about this story where this girl goes and wants to meet her grandmother and she goes to the forest. This is not a story. Add a wolf in the forest, now it's a story. People are losing their luggage every single day at the airport. That's not a story. There was my grandfather's photograph in that, and I cannot find it anywhere else. That's the last copy of it, and it's a story. I've given them stakes. I've given them attention to fulfill. Now, people often consider anecdotes. Start talking about their past stories. Anecdotes are not stories. They are just recollection of whatever happened, a short account of what happened to you. Stories can be a series of occurrences, but they always deal with some sort of evolution, some sort of transformation. Transformation can be of any type. It could be physical, emotional, situational, behavioral, attitudinal. It could be any kind, but there has to be these 2 points from A to B. Something would have changed here. That is why it's a story. Correct? Now, in a way, I can say that who you were and what you became. These are two different people. Now that we know this format, we will actually start building a story, but after the second speech. Let me invite Toastmaster Jyoti for her speech, but before I can call Toastmaster Jyoti, I would like to call her evaluator, Toastmaster Akash.
Hello everyone. So today I am playing the role of evaluator for Jyoti. So first of all, congratulations to Jyoti for taking the step and giving the analytical speech today. he has not asked me to evaluate on any particular parameters, but I will be evaluating a speech on opening, speech clarity, and structure of the speech, and the stories that he presents. For the timer, as you know that starts with the speech, it will be 4 to 6 minutes. Just remember that. And at the end of the session, I am presenting my report. Thank you.
Now I have two options before I can talk about Toastmaster Jyoti. I can say this in words, but I can always narrate what she wrote to me. She's a daughter among 3 loving siblings, mom of 2 amazing daughters, and yes, a wife to 1 husband. I recharge in nature, find peace besides water bodies. Whenever life plays a difficult tune, Bollywood music quietly reminds me to dance again. Please, one more. The title for her speech is I Didn't Lose. I Didn't Lose Toastmaster Jyoti.
I spent a couple of hours thinking, how do I wanted me to introduce today? A story knocked on my mind. January 2005. I bought a local magazine from a convenience store in Vancouver, Canada. I was reading it on the plane. We were traveling back to Tokyo. A story caught my attention. A story of 8-year-old girl. Something felt connected. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. January 2005, we were living in Yokohama, Japan. My younger daughter was almost 5 years. With that story in my mind, I bring my younger daughter to the child clinic next morning. I want to do X-ray of her spine. Doctor refused. She is too young to get another X-ray so soon. They did an chest X-ray of her 10 days ago. I understand, but I still want to do that. Something inside me wouldn't let it go. I gave my reasons again and again. I convinced him. My younger daughter was suffering from severe leg pain in her right leg. She was feeling very hard to walk, even to sleep. We had consulted many doctors in Japan and in India, and everyone would say this is a growing muscle pain. It will go off soon, and they will give us only the painkillers. We were still having sleepless and painful nights. That X-ray revealed something. It was scoliosis. She had a slightly tilted shoulder. As a mom, I wondered, how did I miss it? I went home with heavy heart and told my husband and older daughter. I was worried, yet relieved. First time in the months, we had some answer. I was Googling about the scoliosis on the internet. Something did not feel right. My mother instinct again wouldn't stop me there. Next morning, I again went to that place. I want to do the MRI of her spine. Doctor did not think. She's only 5. Do you understand the risk of exposing her to so many X-rays? I do understand, but as a mom, I need to be sure. I gave my reasons again, and the MRI was booked. 2 days later, it was not the growing muscle pain. It was not the scoliosis. There was a benign tumor in her spine, pressing her nerves, which were causing pain in her right leg. And that was the reason for her tilted shoulder tumor. As the doctor explained the diagnosis, my tears rolled down my face. Not because she was having a tumor, but because at last we had an answer. All night I kept thinking, why happened to us? But sometimes life has no answers. But those 6 months revealed something about me which I did not know. A mother who could trust her instincts. A woman who had a courage to ask questions. And a person who refused to not let go until found the truth. For a long time I thought all my these goals, they lost my identity. But I was wrong. I did not lose myself. I found myself a more stronger, more intuitive, and a more courageous person. We do not lose ourselves in the roads, but we get to reveal ourselves, the true self. Thank you.
I think most of us will agree how immersive the story was. Beautifully said, beautifully narrated, and the story is like quite deep. Okay, so we start building the story now. As most of you would remember, we picked up a small time frame within which we go from one point to another. Let's imagine this is the point A and this is the point B. Let's say we have given the curve also. This is our story. Correct? Now, in this point A to point B, there are many ways to get to this point. Many stories within this. Many lenses within this. Correct? We pick one lens. We pick, let's say, this one, and we remove the rest of them. So, when you're about to write a story, start with that one sentence of the experience that you are sharing, craft it or maybe distill it into one sentence. This would be the hook of the story, and this would be, what do you call that? Sorry. This would be the roadmap. Because, let's say you come onto this roadmap. Everything that is outside this roadmap, on this, not on this line, can be removed. It's easy for us to see what works. Now, this journey would have many scenes, right? From A to B, while we are going there, there would be many situations, people, instances, moments that you can recall. Some of them require a lot of attention, and some of them are not so much necessary. So what we do is we remove this part and we squeeze them like this. Okay? Now these become our scenes on the story. And this part here becomes the connector. And you're allowed to jump cut. A scene, jump cut to next scene, jump cut to next scene. This example would be like, I arrived at the airport, all 10 staff. At the security counter, now what I did was, I removed that part where I was walking towards the security part. Because what is important for me, I arrived tensed at the airport, and what happened at the security junction, right? I removed the unnecessary part and I only speak about in terms of scenes. These are the scenes. So we have a story built up of scenes, connectors, and insights. What did I learn from each moment? The revelation that I got. And the whole series of storytelling is all about, every moment that you pick up in the storytelling format is about action and reflection. This is the action I took, this is the reflection I got. This is the action I took, this is the reflection I got. And what you're doing is, you're moving from here to here. At the same very time, you're building something very important, which is the final act. This would be your climax. After which, once you are past this, there would be resolution. This completes your story. Okay? Now, when you are talking about a scene, I am asking you to put details into it, right? The moment you do that, you're talking about minute details. Let's say I was standing there, a drop of sweat was rolling down my temple. The fragrance I was feeling, the taste I had of the coffee I had in the morning, and the worry that I was having. When you're doing this, basically what you're saying is you are immersing the audience with it. You are giving them the taste of what the moment felt like. Now the audience is jumping off into your scene, into your shoes. They can feel what you're feeling, and that makes the story so engaging. Because otherwise, if you just say that I was worried, that's just one sentence. But if you give them the five senses to feel, they are with you. They are one with your story. They are not even going to blink their eye, which is a very important aspect of storytelling. And having done that, the story still feels a little empty. It's like a catalogue of what happened. We will talk about what happens next after the third speech. We have Toastmaster Meenakshi as our third speaker, but before that, I would like to call Toastmaster Prashant as our evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster College. Guys, so I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Meenakshi today. She is currently in her pathway presentation mastery. Project is first project and it's level 3. So apart from the generic feedback that I'll be giving her, she has specifically asked me to evaluate her on relatability with the audience and the kind of engagement she is having with. So I believe you're giving a speech after a long time, Meenakshi, so best of luck for that. And over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prashant.
Thank you.
You're not allowed to enter. Okay, a little bit about Toastmaster Meenakshi. She's an HR professional. I think most of us know about that. She loves solving problems, fun quizzes, and making learning more engaging that we have seen at night parties. The interesting part is she secretly wants to perform a stand-up comedy one day, and we would expect that very soon. Please welcome Toastmaster Meenakshi. Her speech title is "The Most Expensive Thing That You're Giving Every Day." The most expensive thing that you're giving every day. Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I would like to start my speech with a confession. Yesterday, at 9 p.m., I opened my laptop to write my Toastmaster speech. My notebook was open, My phone was staring at me. Then I thought, let me quickly search about Sia and Goyal case. So I picked up my phone just for 2 minutes. समय रहना लेटेस्ट वीडियो. ओए होए क्या सीन है? AI will replace your job. Ice plunges, slow aging. 3 hours later. My tea was cold. I haven't tried a single word at my speech. I wasn't productive. I wasn't informed. I wasn't entertained anyone. I was simply exhausted. Then I thought, what if the problem is not that I have a shorter attention span? The problem is that my attention is being trained every day. Think about it. When was the last time you have sat in silence without checking on your phone? Or read 5 pages without thinking about a notification? Think.
Yesterday time.
We're not losing focus because we are weak. We are losing focus because we are practicing distractions every single day. Every swipe, every notification, every scroll, every doom scrolling gives a tiny burst of dopamine. That anticipation drives us. One more time, please. One more reel. That will be more motivating. Just like a slot machine. Researchers have found that the human attention on a screen is nearly 47-second switch. Imagine trying to build a 47-year career over a 47 seconds of attention span. Is it possible? No wonder the internet has phrased this thing. What is this called? Brain rot. Exactly. Isn't because our brain is rotting. It's because our ability, the constant digital stimulation, we are losing our ability to stay on one thought for a longer time, enough to create something meaningful. So, what do we do now? Not more willpower, not require a strategy. Maybe 3 pillar rules. First, design your environment. Behavior scientists call it choice architecture. Keep away from your phone for some time. Turn off your phone at a grayscale. Move social media off from your digital screen. Because you can train your behavior. Second, protect your deep focus. One notification doesn't just steal your 10 seconds of span. It's steal the quality of thinking. And finally, the last and important, let yourself be bored. Slow and walk without your phone. Stand in a queue without scrolling on your phone. Looks impossible. Go on a metro without checking your phone. Maybe talk to somebody without thinking about what is happening on your phone. Yesterday, I spent 3 hours consuming the content. Today, I spent 1 hour creating something. That wasn't intelligence, that wasn't that motivation, that was attention. People say time is money. I disagree. Money can be earned over and again, but attention cannot. So before you unlock your phone tonight, ask yourself a question. Am I choosing where my attention goes? Or somebody else is choosing it for me? Because whenever your attention goes, your life follows. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meenakshi. Please. How many are in sync with what I have just you're getting like is it better now? Has it given some sort of clarity to how storytelling should be?
I had a question. You mentioned a lot of things to put in a story. I believe that you goes out of the time frame. So what, according to you, should be a time story? Say 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 pages, 3 pages. Because when you talk about like inculcating all the details or multiple scenes, I believe that it goes very fast.
Yes.
how
So
do you
based
do
on the timing, how much do you, because if it is too much of a detail, you get people only have a limited memory bandwidth. So you cannot go beyond a certain point, and that is like at your own discretion. Like time limit here for any speech is 7 minutes to 8 minutes at the max. So you need to know how do I engage the audience with these details, but I don't go overboard. That is something up to you, right?
Even I have one question. So like you said, like A to B cannot be, I mean, it should not be a straight line. There, like for example, you give that example of someone going to the forest, and if there's no wolf, if there's no story. But what if there is no wolf, and then you want to tell it that
Correct.
you go to the forest? How do you tell that?
Beautiful. There cannot be any story where you did not want something, or you didn't want to get rid of something. Like if I talk about any story, the story that you are about to be speaking about, I'm not going to go into details, but it would have some stake for people to be interested in. You're not going to talk about, it's not going to be a daily journal. I got up in the morning, I had my coffee, I went to work, I came back and slept. People are going to say, hey, you just wasted our 7 minutes. There has to be something associated with it. There would be some sort of a struggle that is in that story that people are going to be engaged with. So when I talk about a wolf, it doesn't have to be a situation of a person. It could be your internal resistance towards something. It could be some external circumstance which is creating that friction that you wanted to get past. That is.
What if there's no struggle? I mean, it's not necessary. I mean,
You have not lived it up.
I mean,
That's
I'm so
like-
lost.
Right. But there would be something that would happen. Like in that straight line, something would be a curve. Everything that you talk about. Let's say we meet at lunch. What are you going to talk about? If you talk about your life, you're going to talk about something that happened to you. In that, there would be some stakes. There would be some tension. Otherwise, why would you talk? And I will be lost before you even blink your eye, because I see what is the point of you narrating everything. I'm not interested. But once you start to speak in terms of stakes and tension, now I'm hooked.
It's not necessary that you should have a struggle. You might have magic in it.
Yes, exactly.
Everything is just.
You never know what this might not be a struggle for you, like as in apparent because you're facing it every day. But it could be something that if you pay attention, you would feel that this is something not that I wanted, but finally I had to circumvent to it.
It not this struggle, it can be an interesting event also.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Chaos is itself.
So always,
I think
one
anything
point.
can twist and turn out.
Here we are looking at from top to bottom. So the line which you draw, the snake chart,
This
the
one?
right one, green one. Usually what we are thinking that in our life there should be a deep moment, the struggle. Normally what we are going, but it can be
Stake.
Yeah, but it can be opposite of that. Normal life you are seeing, normal life you are
Correct.
living, and you are assuming that you can get a higher level. So it can be a exciting, anything can be.
So the first paragraph that I
Some
spoke
people
about.
have stakes in life, and some people have cakes in their life.
No, imagine, I spoke about this. It could be like every day is a usual day. And then one day was different. Like, has anybody seen Training Day? Denzel Washington. One of my favorite movies. Denzel Washington, Training Day. Has anybody? No. So this narrative is like this guy joins. Please don't consider time when I was speaking about started. This guy joins police force, and the first day he gets. You know that in US they are partners. Like it's like a team of two. That they are always together. So this guy gets like you have to be with somebody senior. And Denzel Washington is the other guy who's like a little bit senior. And throughout the day, he starts in the morning and they show, he's getting ready, he had his breakfast today, he's super excited that I'm going to be, having all of a time, I'm going to learn something. And he goes to Denzel Washington, who is super rude and he's super straightforward. And then later on during the day, he finds out he's the most corrupt police officer out there. And by the evening, this guy, Denzel Washington, leaves him in the bad neighborhood that kill him because he knows too much, and how he gets out of it. Imagine this is like one day of his life. Every day was normal, but today was a little different. So you have to find those moments where it would be worthwhile for me to listen to. Correct? I will always listen to you, but okay, this is a little black and white. We need some colors in this. I'm supposed to be an artist, but here I'm not demonstrating that. Now I've given some life to it. Can anybody say what these colors mean? Without which the story is nothing?
Emotions.
Correct. We need to have emotions. People are looking to connect with you, not through a series of occurrences. They are looking for emotional, they want to feel human. Each individual wants. Each individual amongst us or outside, they all want to feel that we are human. Emotions connect us with the audience. It builds trust. It becomes we get to that oneness of things. Right? So you can share, people connect with mistakes, vulnerability when you share your uncertainty. If I'm going to speak about, I'm like the best transformational coach out there, I had this and I achieved this, you're like, he's bragging too much. What if I say that I went onto the stage and I could not speak? Actually, this has happened thrice in Toastmasters in the past 2 years. When I went onto the stage, and even though I have a reputation to carry, I forgot the speech. And in the middle of the speech, I went back. I did not even try to continue. Now, as I'm speaking about this is actually a true story. People are interested to know what happened later. So I'm upping the stakes. And you don't have to give one emotion. Let's say I felt agitated. That's just one emotion. It is good, but it is still not the best. Imagine a sentence where I say, I finally wanted her to say this. This is the sentence. I finally wanted her to say this. I would ask you guys, tell me different ways, different emotions that can be associated with this kind of sentence. I could be feeling grumpy and saying this. Aggression. I wanted her to say this, and then I can be desperate. I so wanted her finally to say this. And then any other emotion anybody can think of? Excited. I finally wanted her to be saying this. Anyone else?
It could be worry also.
I finally wanted her to worry. Okay, I wanted her to say this. So instead of giving one emotion, if you can give them the range of emotions, that adds people in, that invites people in, and it's like a very strong hook. Now, having these emotions in place, we have made the story alive. Next comes the order, but before that, let's invite Toastmaster Kritika for her speech. Before that, her evaluator, Toastmaster Tanika.
So I'm evaluating Kritika today. It's a dynamic leadership pathway, level 1, project 2. It's going to be a second stage after the icebreaker. So that is means she's going to deliver a speech with a particular purpose. My objective is to evaluate her on what is the particular purpose you are carrying in your speech, speech clarity, voice modulation, and the gestures when you are on the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tanika. A little bit about Toastmaster Kritika. She's a management consultant by profession with a passion for learning and traveling. Beyond work, she's a fitness enthusiast, a national level taekwondo champion. Enjoys strength training and swimming. Her speech title is The Anchor and the Ocean. The Anchor and the Ocean, Toastmaster Kritika.
So good morning, everyone. Today, I want all of you to imagine that you are on a beautiful ship. The sky is clear, the wind is perfect, and there's an ocean that stretches endlessly in front of you. You raise the sails, the engine starts, you're doing everything correctly, but the ship doesn't move. Now it's not because the wind is against you, but it's because the anchor is still in the water. Now I feel life is a lot like that. We all have anchors. Sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's a situation. It could be fear, it could be routine. And sometimes there are things that don't even look like anchors. They feel like success. For me, I realized my ship wasn't sailing in the middle of the ocean. Rather, it was parked in front of an office building. When I started my career, I was extremely fortunate. I had a good job, supportive colleagues, seniors from whom I could learn, a healthy work-life balance. I knew what tomorrow is going to look like. And for a while, that certainty, it felt like success. But one evening, when I was scrolling through LinkedIn, I saw my friends posting about new roles, new jobs, new cities, new opportunities. Most of them had started behind me. Today, many of them are not there. And my first thought looking at it was, maybe they're just lucky. But the more I sat with that feeling, I realized something far more uncomfortable. It wasn't that they were moving faster than me. It was that they were willing to leave certainty sooner than I was. That is when I started to ask myself questions like, why am I still where I am today? Is it because I feel I'm closer to the dream I envision for myself? Or is it because I'm learning something today? Or is it because I know exactly what tomorrow will bring? I knew the power that certainty gave me. Is that what is holding me back? The introspection made me realize that my career had become an anchor. Now, it wasn't a bad place to be. That is exactly why it made it so difficult. Rather, it gave me safety, security, predictability, and comfort. A lot of times, people think that anchors are meant to hurt us. But the most powerful anchors are the ones that make us feel secure. They hold us back with comfort. I had dreams that stretched beyond the horizon my eyes could meet. Dreams that were nowhere close to familiarity. Or whenever I tried taking that next step, I always heard a whisper. What if the next that I'm seeing is not exactly how I planned? What if I fail? And worse, what if I have to trade my good enough life with something not as good? This made me realize that I was afraid of myself. It wasn't my job, it wasn't my career, or it wasn't any relationship. Rather, it was the certainty that they came with which was I understood something that I am going to keep with myself forever. An anchor
is meant to protect a ship during the storm. But an anchor doesn't move in the storm as well. And so if you never lift it, something that once made you feel safe and secure becomes the reason why you never discover anything beyond the harbor. Now today, I so wish that I could tell you here that I've lifted my anchor, but I haven't. I'm still building that courage to take the next step. But something has definitely changed. I've stopped asking myself if this is good enough. Rather, I ask myself, does this help me to bring closer to the life I've envisioned? And between all of this, I found my anchor. Now your anchor, it could probably or probably not be a relationship, could be or could not be a person, could be an emotion, or maybe, just maybe, it could be like mine, a life that is good enough. Because sometimes the hardest thing isn't walking away from something that makes us unhappy, but rather something that makes us feel comfortable. So, I'd like to leave you all today with one question. What is the one anchor that you're holding on to? And what is the ocean, the plethora of opportunities that you might be able to see if you let that anchor go?
What an inspiring speech. What an inspiring speech. You know, they say we are not scared that we are not powerful enough. We are scared beyond imagination of knowing how much power we have. And that's why sometimes we cannot leave our anchor, because out in the unfamiliar lies the infinite potential that we do not want to touch. We're scared of that. Now that we have this format here, do you think we can change anything about this? Anybody has any idea? Anyone wants to change anything about this? Okay, let me give you a hint. A lot of people ask me that is it supposed to be like this format only, or can it be changed? Can we change the order? And I say yes. There is no particular order to this. You can switch scenes, you bring here, there, you can jumble around all the scenes. As long as the narrative that you're about to be sharing, it aligns with that narrative. Now there are a few storytelling formats that I would like to talk about. And I need some help here. Oops. Okay. Story structure. Has anybody ever watched any video or read about how the story structure works? Yes, I'm sure you would have. No, I mean,
there are multiple ways. One is the linear structure.
Correct.
And there is the circular structure.
Correct. Yes.
And then there is the spiral structure as well.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing this. There is one structure which is a chronological structure. This, you can have a story like this, right? Obviously, you can play around with scenes. You can add emotions, you can add details, but it's a chronological order because something happened and it's a series of things that leads to that transformation. You can have that, it's not a problem. There is another one where I've given a speech on this. I'm a big fan of Anurag Kashyap, and the first movie that I saw of him had this amazing thing. He's giving a narrative, stops in between, and then brings another story. That's the flashback. Once the flashback is done, he continues with the story. And that engages the audience because here we have something to look forward to and we add details. This happens when, let's say you want to give context to why it is happening. I'm scared of red color. Right? Now the audience is saying, why are you scared of red color? I'll bring back a backstory that Prashant had, spoken something to me, and that just I'm scared of that thing that it doesn't happen again. So that's a backstory. I'm giving the context to the audience that why I'm scared of the thing. It makes sense to the audience. It gives meaning. The third that I've thought of is parallel lines. Here you can have the same person in these two stories, like two stories of the same person, or it could be two people, and then you switch between these two. Anybody seen Memento? Memento. Those who have not seen the original version of Gajini, like I've not seen Gajini, but I've seen Memento. And on YouTube, Christopher Nolan has actually once spoken about the story structure he used for Memento. He said, let's have a story like this. This is the timeline of the story. And we start here, in the middle of the story. And then we speak about, so he says, divide this story, we speak of this, then this, then this, then this, then this. Imagine if you are the viewer, how engaged would you be, because you're all the time on your chair, on your seat, on the edge, what is going to happen next? And that is what compelling storytelling looks like. You can have something which is quite familiar to most of us, cliffhanger. You get to a stage and then you leave this behind and then add another thing and then continue. Here the suspense, people are not going to be disinterested because something has happened. Call back. You start with one scene, you give your narrative, and by the end you bring back this scene again as a closure. So in a way, you have written the whole story in brackets. It makes a lot of sense, gives a structure to the story. And what Saurabh mentioned was about the circular one. I was A, I went through a situation, I came back to the same place, but this time I was A+. Yeah. So these are not the rules, but there are different angles to how you can craft your story. There's one more thing that I would like to add, which is quite important. Sometimes when you're crafting a story, you have to also think about the audience. Let's say if you're talking about a story where we are talking about some homeless person. Now most of us cannot relate to that. So you have to change that angle of the story and start crafting it from a child's perspective. Now everybody can relate to that child's perspective. So you have to have a unique lens to your story. Again, coming back to the question, what is a perfect story structure? There isn't one. Only thing that works in your favor, according to the narrative that you want to say, one thing and the only one thing that you need to remember is, and it doesn't have to be a major one, but there has to be a transformation. Any story that you talk about is bland if it's not moving it. Somebody or yourself was here, you went and you transformed yourself into something else. That's a good story. Who you were and what became afterwards. Thank you so much for giving me time and listening to me. I would like to invite, or you can clap. I would like to invite take GTM for the day, that is Toastmaster Bucket. Toastmaster Bucket.
Good morning, Toastmasters. Good morning. No, a little low on the energy. I want the energy to be high. Good morning, Toastmasters. Good morning. But yeah. So, today's table topic session is something which is not very common in the Toastmasters. I have split this session into two parts. The first part that goes on for the storytelling, and the second part, which is a bit of a different part. We'll talk about it later on. But as of now, we have learned a lot about the storytelling and how stories should flow and everything. Now time to put all that into action. I have a few chits here, and I have one topic specifically marked for the ladies. So, let's see what we learned today and how we will implement it in our next table topic session. I would like to now invite one Toastmaster who could lead the stage and take this session forward.
Give a background, like 20 seconds, like what is TTM actually?
So table topic session is basically a place where we give a topic on the spot and you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. The green flag raised at 1.5 yellow, and 2 minutes is the red card. So you have to be spontaneous. You can think about it and then you have to speak. So now I would like to start. Okay, I'll start with Kanika. So I have, yes. So the topic is, if your back could talk, what stories would it tell about you?
BAG.
Okay, okay.
I said it will be a little different.
Yeah, that's what I said. One topic for ladies.
This was especially for me.
Thanks for the clarity.
Okay. So my back and talk, the thing which I think is that from the very start of my school days, why are you carrying so many books? Why? You can make the notes. I was the person who was cramming everything in the very initial days, that every exact word should match what is written on the board. If it went from here to there, it's like I did something very wrong. It's not matching. Carrying from there, still now the bag which I'm carrying is my laptop bag. Heading to the office, carrying so many responsibilities, I feel so blessed. I would say very much. Yes, I did something. I am proud of myself. I'm there where I wanted to be. Doing that work which I wanted to do always. Currently, I'm working in EY, being the finance professional. Have learned and grown from cramming to actually doing something practical. That is what my bag has seen my journey.
Great. So exactly the point of table topics, thinking on the spot and delivering a story about how your bag speaks about you. I would now like to invite one guest. Hitesh. Okay. So you have to choose a topic. So the topic is complete the sentence. This was supposed to be a normal day until blank happened. All of this.
Actually, I came from the Hindi background and never seen that the fill in the blanks, how I need to fill it. So this is the more context about here. Like if I see read the sentence, like this was supposed to be a normal day until gas happened. So when I wake up early morning, I was talking with my fiancée and I said, oh, I want to do something new. She said, what you do everything every day, a normal thing. What you think today? I said, I just want to go to the Toastmaster Club. So she said, Toastmaster Club, what is this? Is it new agenda where you are going to spend a time, you are not giving the time to me? Then I said, no. This is not a thing where I just go. This is such a great thing where I can enhance my career and how to talk, how to communicate, and still it's relevant to us. Like sometimes I feel like I am not talking too well with you, so might be I get a sense of better thing. I see many good people and I realize what need to take care and how need to go ahead. So this is the things I realize until when I wake up and what I again try to complete the sentence. So this was supposed to be when until wake up and happened this one to come to Toastmaster.
I would now like to invite another guest. Who is that?
Yes.
Call back.
You are also a member of different Toastmasters, right?
Choose one.
What's the name?
Yes, found. You found a rupees 500 note on the road. Tell us what happens next.
We got it. We got it.
I mean, you got it right. Yes. I'm supposed to do it fast. I mean, when I got the 500 rupees on the road, it's just a board from the group for me. I said, what I was supposed to do, I put it on my pocket. Then, oh, it's the additional money for me. Now I just plan what to do. Maybe I should go for a movie, or maybe I make some phone calls, and to recharge my phones, something, because additional expenses. And it's giving a lot of happiness when you have a lot of money, additional money particularly, adding to a kitty. That's it.
Now comes the second part. I would like to first introduce what I'm going to do. Right? So, here I have 4 lines of chits. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one is who. First chit basically describes who you are going to be in your story. Character. The character. Well, second chit is going to describe where you are in the story. Context. The context of this one. Then, what happened? Third chit says what happens. And 4, how it ends. So, I think this is going to be a bit challenging, but I'm looking forward to this session. So, I would like to first invite Ganesh. Toastmaster Ganesh. Please pick one from each slot. One from each. Yes. Second is child at a railway station. What happened? Oh, got locked outside. Railway station. Imagine it is like a child getting locked out of the railway station at a night. And everyone laughs. So you need to build a story about it. And I would advise to use all 4, but if not all 4, at least 3. Out of it. Yeah. Inside or outside, let's say inside a railway station.
I remember one scene of my life when I was traveling to Mumbai, and at that point I had some luggage with myself. I was around 10 or 12 years old, and my parents were there with me, and they were relied on me carrying a bag, whatever the luggage with me. I was carrying that, and they told me that take that bag and come out. And while I was taking that bag and coming out, by then the door was locked, and I got locked inside. And whatever the people who were looking at me and my parents, they were laughing, and like they were laughing, and I found that I locked inside.
Superb use of a very unrelated topics in a story, but could have been a bit more humorous when you had a sort of a situation, which would
Over. She's a first timer.
It's a complex one. Who?
I think we should do the one at the end.
Alicia?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never spoke.
You're going to be a neighbor. Oh. Yeah. you're going to be at home. And power went away. And it becomes a family legend.
Regards. From last week we are having many power bits.
Imagine all the scenarios which would happen. You could fell down, you could
What happened whenever in my memory I see whenever the rain is powerful. In first let me introduce in my house we have so many children. Whenever there is power cut, they used to play hide and seek. So it's become their tradition. Whenever they power, they start talking or they start laughing like, yeah, let's play hide and seek because it's naturally become more interesting when we play hide and seek at night and power calls. Since from their family, friends.
We'll get 2-3 more sort of. I know. Interesting. Let's see how the story unfolds. You're being yourself at the office. Cake fell off the floor.
Cake fell off.
Cake fell off the floor.
All the bosses had.
Slow. You learned an important lesson. Yourself at the office, cake fell off, and you learned an important lesson.
Game over.
Yeah, so I remember my time in the office when I joined my first company. It was LTI Pune, and it was Hinjewadi branch. And my manager was Jun'26. So basically, he used to work out a lot, and he used to come on time. He used to go to the gym, and he used to come back. So very fitness freak. And I was not like that. I was slightly overweight, around 74, 75 kg weight guy, and I was okay at that time. So I remember there was a birthday in the office, and he had to cut the cake. So the cake cutting was happening. So as soon as the manager entered into the breakout area, people started looking at him because everyone was fresher, so we were not knowing how to react to it. So he came there and he was like, "What's happening over here?" He said, "There's a cake cutting." He said, "Whose birthday is this?" I said, "My birthday." And then he was like, "Bro, what kind of cake are you cutting?" I said, normal regular cake." He said, "You know how much calories this cake has?" I said, "What is calorie?" Because at that time I didn't even have even little bit of idea about the calories. So he was like, "It has around 6,000 calories." I was like, "Okay, what should I do then?" He said, "Just take a little tiny bite of it and then put everything away and then maybe give it to the staff members. They'll eat it." I said, "Okay." At that time I was not sure what to say because I had to eat the entire thing. And I was waiting for it. It was truffle cake, which is my favorite. But I learned an important lesson that day. Boss is always right. So my boss says, "Do not eat it. At least do
do not eat it in front of him. So as soon as he went by, I started eating it. And that's all. Thank you.
So, very much appropriate use of all the 4 topics and not the lessons which we were expecting. So, plot twist at the end. I would now like to invite Anand. I want to go this.
This is the last. Yes, this is the last.
Okay.
By sake of telling.
This is the last.
Very much for me. I'm going to be a grandparent. At a grocery store. You lost your phone. It becomes your favorite memory. Grandparent at a grocery store. Lost your phone. And it becomes your favorite memory.
So, I'm a type of grandparent who don't use phone so much. But one day my grandchild came to me and insisted me to go to the grocery store to buy some chocolates. I took my phone with her and we went to the grocery store. She collected all the chocolates. In the middle of it, she put my phone in the cart. The phone was there in the cart. And suddenly, there came 20 students to buy things in the grocery store. In the middle of it, I was putting a specs. Somehow, I lost my specs over there. And my grandchild got mixed up with the students. I could not find it. I got panicked. I thought, my phone is not with me, my child is not with me. How I'm going to do it? So, I started crying over there. And I said, then one of the students bring my grandchild with me and she came with the chocolates. Chocolates though I bought, the phone I lost. Without the phone, she will not come home because on the way to home, she need phone for watching the YouTube. So she started crying. Now, what shall I do? But then came a person who helped me find the phone from the cart and gave me the phone. And then we went home, came back. That's how I find helping others is very important. And that became grounded.
Although we are allotted 20 minutes, but as per the popular request of our team and
Isha, please take a seat.
Master.
But a great session. Of course, TMOD is still outside. He'll be joining us shortly. We had great session today in terms of TMOD and speakers. We had 2 ice-breaking speech, fantastic, and they were all good. So now we'll be starting the 3rd section of the meeting, and that is the evaluation section. First speaker, Anandita, and for her evaluation, I'd like to invite Jyotish.
We will take the first of all. Can I ask you, all you, to get applause, to give applause to her? Such a nice story. The title was "What Happened to That Person." Nothing has happened. To be frank, nothing. In your whole 4 to 5 minutes, you tried to live that life. Your 10 to 15 years of your life, you have lived that. From that girl we were imagining, to the school, to the 11th class, and to the college and the intern and so on. You were sticking and you were make sure that we have enrolled to your journey. We were literally living that. The first word which come to my mind when I was hearing that, it's a very simple, beautiful story. This is what exactly we need as an icebreaker, according to my thinking. It's a very pleasant, simple story. The curiosity of that little girl, I was hooked to that, and you were able to make that, which is great. Now coming to certain points, you were confident. Compared to the first, if I say, your ice-breaking speech, you were literally confident on that. Your hand movement was good. When you are referring to a little child, little girl, you are literally showing that she is a 4-foot girl. Now, couple of recommendations. If I say, you are doing too much here and there, this movement. Although you have a very much large space here, you can use these spaces or be format one place, use your hand movement. Don't be like this. Okay? And when you are delivering the speech, you are more around 80% you are looking toward these audience, the half side of V places. Always try to concentrate on this V area. Okay. Now, overall, it was a very, very great story. Very simple, as I say, very simple, very beautiful, very connecting story. So that's all.
Thank you, Jun'26, for your evaluation. Of course, you mentioned a lot of things. And kudos to Anindita for your first step. We're looking forward to a lot more stories, a lot more confident stories that you shared today. A few pointers to add from my end. Yes, you don't have to move a lot. That's what we all have to learn, to take care of our movement very consciously. Because a lot of times when we speak up, the subconscious movements are a lot. This is subconscious movement. But the conscious movement, this is conscious movement. Like, you are moving when you want to move, not the story wants you to move or your anxiety wants you to move. Other than that, fantastic job. Great job for your ice-breaking speech. I'm sure you're gonna explore more, know about your speaking styles more, and do wonders in your upcoming speech. Moving on to the next speaker, we have Jyoti. Let's welcome Akash for the evaluation.
So, first of all, I would like to congratulate Jyoti for sharing an emotional story, which is always a very difficult work to share it in front of an audience. I really appreciate that. You also shared the dilemma that you faced with your child for having an MRI or an X-ray. And you had a choice that really felt like between the devil and the deep blue sea. One thing that really stood out in your speech is the composure, is that which you delivered your speech. You maintained that composure and the sense of calmness throughout the speech, which was very impactful. The message was helpful in delivering the message clearly to the audience. However, in a few places, your voice was calmer. However, in a few places, it would be better if you had, pace was a little bit better, so that it could bring in more energy in your message. overall composure and the stage movement was okay. It could be a more of the, you can use the stage more often stick to this area, which could be better. Moreover, it was a heartfelt and memorable speech, so everyone in the audience was engaged. Emotional in content was good. Thank you. All the best for the next week.
Thank you, TM Akash. Beautiful speech, Jody. I'm not sure you have chosen your pathway, have you? If not, please, those who have started their journey, please choose the pathway first, so that you would know the content of the Toastmaster, or how everything goes, the curriculum we have to follow. For that amazing story that you have shared, very heartfelt and amazing insights, we all were with you, but that was not an icebreaking speech. I'm so sorry. Icebreaking speech is to know you, and I don't know you. Like, I know about your daughter now, about you, how you felt, but I don't know what Jyoti, where is she from, what she did growing up, how is she fun to talk to in the 5-minute break coffee, like 5-minute coffee break or not. I would have loved if you have more included those scenarios in the speech. That was the content part, by the way. On the speech level, you were good, but on the curriculum level, you would have done a lot more justice by following what our icebreaking speech is. You were fantastic. Your firmness was really good. That's what I think we all felt, that you were firm with your voice. A few recommendations I would love to add you, like, let's practice speaking out loud with a different variation at your home, if not here. And explore your voice quality, practice more and see how it goes. And this is, of course, a practice platform, and include those in the speeches. Otherwise, really fantastic icebreaking speech. Speech quality was really good. Thank you for your speech. I'm looking forward to many more such fantastic speech where we all can really feel your journey in the story. Thank you so much, Jyoti. Moving ahead, we have the third speaker, and actually let's invite Tia Prashant for her evaluation.
Thank you, Sachin. Before I start, Bhavesh, you have ruined every movie for me now, because every time I watch a movie, my analytical brain will think, what is the story type that the director tried to do here? So thank you for that. Now coming on to Meenakshi, the most expensive thing that you can give, that you are giving every day, right? And yeah, it's attention, correct? Let's start with the good bits. The topic was very relatable, right? You asked me to judge you on relatability. I think every one of us has faced those moments, and we face it every day. So the relatability bar is very high. So kudos on that. You had a good start. You started with an acceptance, like, yeah, I did this, right? So that creates a bond between the audience and the speaker, that there is some sincerity into what they are saying, right? Your expressions were on the spot. Whenever it was something funny, you were there in a smiling face, but whenever it was something to be cautious about, we could see that in your expressions. So that was good. And it was information laden. So that was a positive aspect as well. Everyone got something to take away from it. Now coming on to the areas where we could improve upon, the first one was, again, I think Sachin talked about it, the movement bit. Like, there was too much of movement, continuous movement, unconscious movement. So we have to think strategically while preparing for a speech, like, where am I supposed to move? If yes, how should I move? Where should I move? And what part of my speech should I be moving on? So these are the things that we have to, like, while deciding on our movement, we should look at that aspect as well. Second one was, you asked for engagement bit as well. Relatability was very high. Engagement was, I still believe there is room for improvement, because when you asked 2 questions, but even when you asked those questions, it was part of your speech. You didn't take a pause. They're like, okay, now I'm gonna ask a question. Then you ask a question, you wait, you look at everyone, you wait for those responses. You say, okay, if you want to say something, say it. Next person, right? So that's how you bring that engagement. Whatever they respond to, we respond back or we take that as a context in our space. So that is something that will take the engagement level higher. Net, it was a great speech, and as you told me, like I'm evaluating Meenakshi for the third time now. So I've seen your growth, like it has been a tremendous growth. You are working on your fundamentals. So we talked about pronunciations, the grammatics. You are working on that, and that is clearly showing. So from that point, finally, I want to give one wisdom nugget to every one of you. And I'm sure you are already doing this. So there is something called, there is one guy, a famous physicist, Anders Ericsson. Okay, his whole life is spent upon everyone participates in a race, right? Everyone does something. Almost all of those people are of same caliber, right? So why does one gets to win it while others don't? And they follow the same coaches, they do the same diets. What's the difference? So the difference is in the way they prepare. One simply goes to a ground, let's say for example a sprinter. One goes onto a track, he only goes there to run. The other one is there for deliberate practice. So he not only goes there to run, he wants to time himself, right? He says, okay, last day I was 10 minutes, 10 seconds. Today I want to beat that number, right? So there is that difference that happens. So it's not just about sports, it could be about anything. It could be about just your speech, right? So last time, for example, I gave if anybody remembers my keynote speech, it was a presentation and that was there was a lot of data. So I've decided as a challenge to myself, as a deliberate practice, I'm going to change that and try something totally new. So that is how you get to improve yourself. You become those top achievers, those winners. So yeah, focus on not just practice, not just doing it for the sake of doing it, but deliberately doing it. So that's all from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you, Prashant. However, you are not getting the certificate as you are out of the time. For sure. But great evaluation. I love the way you head forward, like CRC proper approach that you have taken, and along with a really good suggestion. And actually, it would be really great if you would inculcate those deliberately for your next speech. I mean, like when I say deliberately, it means deliberately, and that would only happen if you would not prepare your speech a night before at 9 o'clock. Rather, it would be like a few days prior to that, so that you would get enough time to revise the speech and make it even better. A few things from my end to just add. I mean, actually, of course, Prashant had mentioned about unconscious movement of speech. Again, you have to take care of that, and please, this is actually applies to everyone. Before leaving the stage, hand over to the person over there. Do a proper handshake. One more thing I pointed out, Meenakshi, that you were carrying phone in your hand, and that does not stand anywhere. It's not acceptable at all. We are coming here to improve ourselves. Let you forget everything what you could have spoken. Maybe it would be just 2 minutes blank silence or fumble 1,000 ahs and ums. Let that happen. Don't bring your phone. This goes to anyone, guys. Like, that's not very good gesture. We are carrying a phone and looking at it more and more. But other than that, you did fantastic. After so long, she did a speech and she did so beautiful. If I would have showed up on the stage, let's say after 3 months, I would be like, first I wouldn't dare to take the speaker slot, and I'd be so worried that what should I say, I would be so conscious about myself. But thank you so much, Meenakshi, for showing that effort. Moving on to the next speaker, we have Kritika. Let's invite Tanika for her evaluation.
So first of all, I was comparing myself and thinking when I was giving my second speech, how I was there. And when I saw Kritika was giving her second speech, she was so comfortable on stage. It felt like she's coming every day and practicing. It was very comfortable. She was moving from the one place to another with a flow. It's not like that she has to do it. It is not looking at it forcefully. It was coming very naturally. And then giving the speech, there was so many hand gestures which was going on, and I felt it was also very natural. And she has to use something for the holding. She was giving that holding. Then she has to use the wider. Okay, she was opening her hands. So all these things, I felt it was really comfortable even during the second speech. So that's kudos to you for this thing. So one main thing which I felt is that your second speech was with a purpose, that you should have to deliver something with a purpose. You have started with a very great note that please think, if you would be at the anchor, you would be sailing the boat, how would you imagine yourself? And then ended that with also a great note. Yes. So that felt, yes, the purpose you have completed very gratefully. Talking about the recommendations, there was a parts when you were asking yourself or introspecting yourself, that should be loud enough. Why? It is a question. So it felt like with the power. It went in a very straight line. Nothing about is it introspection or it is. So your voice modulation should be with the flow of the speech. If not, should be go with a straight line. That is one thing. Second, when you were whispering, there was a part when you were whispering, it went very slow. I was sitting there, I fully were not able to understand that full sentence. So even if you were doing something for the whispering, it should be loud enough to hear by the person who is sitting at the very last. Okay? To make sure that your voice modulation should be there. As a girl, I can understand we are not having very high pitch. But when it comes to that thing, we have to practice a lot, and this is I'm also getting a lot as an evaluation. Yes, you do this, you do that. So that is one thing. Third one was that the speech was just going in a one flow without much pauses. I felt there should be a little pauses so that the person can understand or cram it, as I was saying. It was going in a single direction. The pauses should be there, but it should not be irrelevant. It should not look like that. Now coming at the very last, overall your story was carrying a very powerful message, which literally I think was made everyone to think about and do the self-introspection, that if you are carrying that anger, what it would be like that. So just keep the same flow, and I wish you all the best for your
Thank you, Tanika. Thank you for your evaluation, but again, you were disqualified for the certificate. No. 40 seconds, so like 30 seconds. It was in like 3:30. Alright. So, fantastic, Tanika. You also mentioned about the purpose and the level she was while introducing the speaker. And great job, you also followed the CRC approach. A few nuggets to Kritika for your speech. Again, this applies to everyone. Let's not move too much, and is happening to all the speakers. Other than that, I felt your speech was monotonous for 70% of the time, and the last 30% of the time you mindfully focus on your intonation and the cadence, and then you sort of try to do so. But since your vocal is very strong, that feels more monotonous, so you have to intentionally work on your monotonity. Intentionally means intentional. Next time when you do the speech, please be mindful of that. And one more, like this applies to all of us. Let's reduce the content of your speech so that you don't have to rush and be monotonous that you have to finish the speech in just 7 minutes. If you have the content for 5 minutes, then you would go to 7 minutes with pauses, with mindful movement. If your speech already is for 7 minutes, you don't have time for doing so. You don't have time to be mindful and conscious to our speech. But other than that, the kind of confidence that you bring on the stage, it feels like she is literally owning the stage. And I'm damn sure, even if you have to do this before 500 people, as a content creator, as a speaker, you do a great job. Thank you for your speech today. Looking forward to many more. Now, tag team is. Now let's go for a specialist evaluator. First, I'm gonna call on Emma for report.
You said the word. Okay.
Yeah.
apparently it looks like assiduous and negligent was between the devil and the deep blue sea, except for Akshay. Akash, sorry, yeah. Well done, everyone. So to begin with, I always would like to begin with the positive note of beginning from Bhavesh, who said catalog of grievances. Let's hope our life is not a catalog of grievances. And moving on, Anandita was so good. Everyone gave their rave reviews, and I would like to participate as well. You were fabulous. I like the fact that happiness is not about ending up where you want it, but being in the present was something very deep, and it felt more beyond your age, so very well philosophical thought. And Jyoti had a very astute remark saying life has no answers, which is terribly true. And Kritika, all rave reviews, as said, I would accept. I like the fact that you had only like very simple words in your speech, which also came out when you said one or two good words or like outstanding words like plethora, and used the word introspection, and you had a rather good variation of rather the positive and negatives. And sorry, there was one more person, Meenakshi's, again, very good fact-filled speech, which I enjoyed much as a factual person. And about the review, about the feedback, I would like to start saying the feedback is feedback, not feedbacks, because feedback is an uncountable, uncountable, which means there's no plural to it, it's only feedback. And I like the fact that most of us, like, it's not just one or two, most of us use the word comfortable, but it's like just comfortable, just two syllables. So since we are all here to learn, it makes sense to pronounce the word correctly by saying comfortable. Although we have our own influence, it kind of distorts the word, so that's comfortable. And comparatives are like more when you use the verb with more. Like you can't say more stronger, more weaker, it's only like more, just weaker, stronger, things like that. Do not add more in front of it. And there was a pronunciation one, as I said, comfortable and paradigm. And in terms of the preposition, so there is a common myth in English language when people say do not end the sentence with a preposition, just write it off. It's not the case. You can end the sentence with preposition, like I went by, and stop with that. You needn't have anything. And then on a train, it's so whenever you can walk within the transport, it's in, on. If you can walk within the transport, it is on. If you just can sit and you can't make any movements like car or bike, it's just in. So maybe I have fumbled a bit, but I'll try and recover. So that's it from my end. Good luck, keep learning.
Thank you, Emma. Of course, this is such a nice grammatical report. That's what we expect as a grammarian, that you point out a lot of feedback that we have to improve in ourselves. And you are such a good example for that. Thank you for your report. Moving on, let's welcome Nitin for our counter report.
What a session today, starting from our team board. It was such an engaging session that we have to put a lot of effort to remain focused into the sessions, right? First of all, I would like to congratulate and applaud for TM Meenakshi and TM Kritika. They haven't used any single filler word in their speeches today, which was also would like to applaud TM Anandita and TM Jyoti, who have given their ice-breaking speech, and they have used only 2 filler words in their entire speech. Apart from that, Bhavesh has used a couple of R and ums, and a couple of times so and repeat words as well. And then Toastmaster Jyotish, you have used so twice and once. in your speech. Akash only use so twice and like once. Then Toastmaster Tanika, you have used once, so twice and like once. Then we have Toastmaster Sachin, you have used 3 times, 2 times and so twice. Right. Toastmaster Prashant, well, very energetic evaluation. You have used 3 times, once. Right. Then Toastmaster PTM, Toastmaster Bhavya, you have used so 3 times. You used so 3 times and like once. Toastmaster, guest Itinesh, right? So you have used so few times, more than 5, and like couple of times, and few times, more than 5. Then we have guest Sudhir. In your very small and interesting table topic, you have used so twice and like once. Toastmaster Ganesh, in your table topic, you have used like 2 times. And Tanisha, Toastmaster Tanisha, you have used so 2 times, once, once. And Toastmaster Satyam, on your cake story, you have used 4 times, once, and so 2 times. And finally, Toastmaster Shuchi, you have used 3 times, and once, and so 2 times. Thank you very much.
Thank you, TM Nitin. Do we go timer now or at the end? Yeah, let's go for a timer. Let's welcome Sarah for the timer.
First and foremost, by being a proverbial cheerleader, don't have any hard feelings against me. Nothing personal. It was you who went overtime or under time. Okay. With that being said, let's get on with the report. First and foremost, let's start with the speakers. Anandita, your time limit was 6:30 and you completed your speech in 4 minutes 32 seconds. It's on the range. As for Jyoti, you again it's the same time limit and you completed in 6:29. So just 1 second under the time limit. And as for Meenakshi, your time limit was 7:30 and you completed your speech in 5 minutes 56, which was in the right bracket. For Kritika, you completed in 6 minutes 3 seconds, perfectly on time, no issues there. Now let's go on to our table topic speakers. Tanika, the time limit was 2:30 and you completed your speech in 1 minute 6 seconds. Dinesh went 1 minute 30 seconds. Sudhi, you went under time and you hit 32 seconds. As for Dinesh, under time, 58 seconds. And then now Tanisha, you took 1 minute 10 seconds. Satyam was at 1 minute 53 and Suchi was at 1 minute 44. Now for the evaluators, here where things went a little off track. Jyotish, your time limit was 3 minutes 30 seconds. You completed your evaluation in 2 minutes 47. Akash, you went under at 1 minute 26 seconds. For Prashant, you went over at 4 minutes 18 seconds.
Another speech.
And finally, Tanika, you were at 3 minutes 9 seconds. So with that, I'll be closing the report. Again, don't beat me up.
Thank you so much, Saurabh, that we do have to care about the timings. Of course, here it's all good and all fine, all chill, but when you're going for a competition, you're straight out. No one's gonna look at you. You're straight out of the voting line. So, education team, be mindful of that. Those who are out of the time, maybe we can skip their name in the evaluation. Yeah, so perfect.
Going hard work.
So we are good. Before moving to the active listener part, I'd like to share some of the few things that I noticed around the entire session. Moving to TM Balaji, she did a great job, of course. We began for him. Let's meet it and let's take all these learnings back to our houses and let's work on that. If it goes by, it goes by. We have to literally put on a paper, and that's how we'll improve. Thank you for that, Bhavesh. But I have to add on one thing, Bhavesh. You do great at your job. You make everybody hooked onto the topic that you do. You engage the audience. But while the transition happens from one speaker to another speaker, you leave us stranded. We don't know how to feel. And that's like, for example, I'll give the Jyoti's example, or from other speakers' example. I think maybe you have to reduce your content for 10 seconds. Let's do that. Let's cut that out. But give the due justice to all the listeners and let their emotions sink in for a while. Other than that, fabulous job and great session today. I'm gonna take back. I'm gonna start writing my story. I'm gonna put that on paper and let's see how it goes. And for us, if do we have your permission if we have any doubts, come to you and get it corrected. Yeah. Thank you so much. Moving on to TTM, amazing, great effort. You have put that on the chat and it was fantastic. Of course, you didn't get enough time. You and you took your time. But again, fantastic job, Bhavya. I would say keeping 4 different chats, you could have reduced. All I'm saying is this is the only opportunity that a guest has to show up on the stage. And if they don't feel that it's very easy peasy thing, they wouldn't come here. So let's make this thing easy peasy for our guests and make it a lot easier, as easy can it be for them to show up on the stage. A few more things that we have a lot of movements. I don't know why, but we have a lot of movements in our room, even though this is such a fantastic place to be in. Please don't wake up from your seats unless like during the post time, or please do not. Let's be a little mindful of that for the guests. I'm not sure if you're coming again and again. Be mindful of that. For the education team, Bhavya and Alicia pointing out specifically for you guys, let's do not write on the bill anything if a speaker is speaking. Let's do not do anything. And let's be, it's okay, it's fine if it's not written over there. It's okay if something is not erased or anything. Let's be as clumsy as it is. But let's not disturb the speaker while they are on the stage. Fabulous meeting. I loved it. I loved it. Thank you so much, all of you, for showing up here. Over to GTM for the day. GM3. Sorry, my bad. Active listener.
Let's divide it into 2 parts, part A and part B. So it will be Prashant's part A and then team B. So the first question for team A, what were the 3 elements of the story that Bhavesh introduced at the beginning of the session?
Like it was 3 questions.
Yeah, 3 questions. Yeah,
what is the story all about? Why do I need to tell it?
You mentioned something.
Yeah, he's written a note. It's okay, no, it's allowed now. It was active.
And the third one is
So there was one phrase used by Bhavesh. So you have to complete the phrase. Every day was ordinary. That one day. Question for team B. Every day was ordinary. You have to complete it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, team.
Meenakshi bolo.
There's a transformation
What is the question? Complete the phrase used by Bhavesh. Every day was ordinary. Blank.
Until it was not ordinary. Until it was different.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So is the one what's now form?
Yeah.
What is the full form of this word?
Points.
FU is Paja.
Seriously, something.
Situation, novel,
new and.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Question for team B. Which extracurricular activity played a crucial role in Anandita's journey?
being on the stage, Speech,
Dancing.
Something related to dance.
Dancing. She knows.
No, you are
Yeah, art is right answer. Okay, so question for Team A again. Anindita became a PR associate for which organization?
Social House Learning.
next president.
What was the title of Postmaster Machi's speech? Postmaster Machi's What was the title of Postmaster Machi's
Border,
No, I just want complete answer.
Yes.
No, powerful answer.
Next time we lost.
Which I'm holding.
5, 4, 3, 5, 4. Yeah, but
No.
That's a mother.
Most expensive thing we are going to lose.
I almost.
ऐसा ही है.
The most expensive thing I'm giving.
Here again that in which part of the country did Postmaster Jyoti live and in which year?
Vancouver, Canada and Yokohama, Japan.
One piece.
Oh, nice. Double S.
Japan and then
She was also living in
Yeah,
Canada, but
no,
what
no,
was
2005.
right answer.
5-0.
What was the name of the disease that Jyoti's daughter was diagnosed with? Okay, thank you. This is all. I would like to invite presiding officer Postmaster Vishnu over the stage and hand over the stage to Postmaster Vishnu.
Voting forms are out.
Yeah.
Can I get a mobile? Guys, so voting forms are out. Please vote for your respective choices. For best speaker, we have Toastmaster Anindita. Spelling is incorrect. Then Toastmaster Jyoti. Jyoti, raise your hand. Toastmaster Meenakshi. Toastmaster Kritika. Then best speech evaluator. There are 2 disqualifications. Hence we have Toastmaster Jyotish and Toastmaster Tanika competing for the best evaluator. Then best auxiliary role player we have our counter Toastmaster Nitin, CTM Toastmaster Bhavya. Keeps going around. T Toastmaster Sachin. Then table topic players, there are 5 people competing for the spot. Toastmaster Tanika. Guest Itnesh, raise your hand. Toastmaster Tanisha. Toastmaster Satyam at the back. Toastmaster Shuchi. Shuchi, raise your hand. Let me also vote. So
You can vote
people
again.
can vote
Yeah.
on mobile, na? So what an amazing session this was. Toastmaster Bhavesh, eloquent as ever. and we had the timer Toastmaster Saurabh. For the Indira Gandhi, we had the Karan Bedi, and assiduous effort from our GE to disqualify people who were exceeding the time, and kudos to the effort made by Toastmaster Hema as the grammarian. I see a devil with a smiley on his face and a butterfly on his head, flying over his head.
It's a female devil.
Oh. Okay, so we couldn't take all the guest introductions. Maybe we can take a few more. Just tell us what you do and any feedback for us.
It was a great session, and I'm sure that I work for BlackRock.
Work for? BlackRock. Okay. Good to have you here. Yes, sir.
I am Tushar. I am currently graduated from DP in the field of information technology. Currently, I am working in the company called Real Lyrics, and I am planning to go for my MS in US and SQL. Data science and AI.
Hello everyone, I'm Shalini. I'm also a recent graduate from Shahid Zokif College of Business Studies, if anyone is available. And so I have pursued Bachelor's of Management Studies. I have specialized in finance. Finance is a career that I'm planning to pursue. I will be joining HJ Analytics in the next month, and that's a bit about me. Regarding the experience here, so I had already learned and heard a lot about Toastmasters. So coming here was quite a fruitful experience for me, and I look forward to joining this year.
Good to have you here. Thanks for the feedback. Anyone else want to say anything? Yeah.
Hi, I am Rahi. I am management consultant by profession. I felt that today's session was great to listen to all the board speakers and table topics. I look forward to attending more sessions in
So hello everyone, my name is Visan and I currently work as a senior audit manager at a civil firm. So I have previously been part of Toastmasters from 5 years ago. Now I'm again looking to join a Toastmasters club to improve on my career. So
good to have you here. Thank you.
All the feedbacks. Yes.
How much time? What time?
We don't have your already.
We are already. So first award is to Akash for losing word of the day from our grammarian Toastmaster Hema. Come forward. Hema, you can maybe do the honors. No?
ये पता तो सब लोग विराट के
She mentioned. कौन है हमारा? Who is the substitute for our
Send us a small gift. If you have this.
Unbox करके दिखा दो भाई. So best table topic speaker is Toastmaster Satyam with the cake too. I थोड़ा सा फोटो मांगना है नहीं कर रहा है क्या हो गया मेरा स्पॉन्सर करते हैं आ रहा है हटो भाई
टाइम ही नहीं है
डिक्टेटरशिप मुबारक हो
Best role player Toastmaster Bhavish.
अगले 6 महीने तक इसको रोल नहीं मिल रहा।
Best auxiliary role player Toastmaster Hema.
Gifting bribe works, huh?
This was, the bribe was not, the
You should
appreciation
have-
was after the reporting.
You should have shown the bride. So,
Kritika's team was in the hat-trick.
best evaluator. After all the knockouts due to time disqualification, the best evaluator is Toastmaster Tanika. This has become a new strategy. The team who gives the least white balls wins. It's like that. Okay, best speaker. Any guesses? Toastmaster Anindita. Against the